Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, back with another Hong Kong content review, and this will be a part one of two of a Pacific director known as Wong Jing, who has recently had a bit of a renaissance, I would say, between 88 and Eureka releases. You've had a lot of his movies getting brand new releases from his distribution companies. He is a very big kind of Hong Kong director, known for mainly comedy. He's done a mixture of action and different types of different genres, thrillers, and all sorts of stuff. He's also known and infamous for the kind of starting off the kind of card game kind of gambling kind of scene that was from the 90s, with the new release from Eureka coming out in a couple of weeks called Casino Raiders. He also has done Gods of Gamblers, which I've already reviewed on the channel. He's done Holy Weapon, which I have reviewed on the channel as well, and City Hunter with Jackie Chan, which I haven't reviewed, but I decided I practically didn't really like that film. It wasn't really my thing. So I've been familiar with the director for a little bit to this time, but recently a lot of his films are getting these really high regarded new releases from these different distribution companies. And I have two, which is Magic Crystal, and we have The Last Hero in China, which for this video, I'm going to be talking about Magic Crystal, Blu-ray edition, and the film itself. So this is the brand new 88 film edition. Slipcase. You can see it's very glossy and very shiny. Here we go. And as you may have noticed now, they're starting to do these really thin cases. I think the reason for this is because they're starting to venture out 88 films are into US kind of market. So instead of doing the standard kind of UK kind of packaging, they're starting to do kind of, the same kind of thin layer of Blu-ray cases for both, so they kind of save on distribution costs, makes sense on size as well. Something that I've noticed a lot of companies are doing now, even Disney with a lot of their movies as well, are starting to do these really kind of thinner kind of cases. I think we're going to start to see a lot more of this in coming up future. So here you go there, poster, disc, and you also get a tinted artwork. So without further ado, let's dive into Magic Crystal. Magic Crystal was released in 1986 by Wong Jing, of course, as mentioned, and this stars a big cast of actors. We have Andy Lau as his kind of first major role, breaking from kind of TV kind of dramas, going into kind of the mainstream kind of Hong Kong cinema now, and doing a very different role that I don't usually expect him to do. I'm not sure what Casino Raiders is like. I know that's another film, an early one of his kind of movies, but I know Andy Lau obviously from the Infernal Affairs series. He plays a lot of bad guys, and Andy Lau in this film is having an absolute blast from start to finish. This film is essentially a comedy kind of caper adventure movie with traditional martial arts kind of fight sequences, and this is some of the highest caliber that I've seen in quite some time. This film is re-energized, kind of lit the flame for why I enjoy Hong Kong movies. Andy Lau in this film is very young, he's very fresh, he's charming, he's funny, his character is great from start to finish, he's having a good on-screen presence, his kind of martial arts fight sequences and kind of wire works, jumping off buildings and rooftops and balconies is a lot of fun, and he's really delivering some really fantastic kind of traditional action moments. There's Symphony Rock in the film as well, which is also a kind of staple kind of Hong Kong actress for that time during the kind of mid-80s, with fresh off Righting Wrongs, or during the same time period, really utilizing her skill sets with the form weapons, spears, having some brilliant fight sequences, two major fight sequences with Richard Norton, which I've not really got a chance to talk much about Richard Norton on the channel because I've only seen a handful of his movies, but he plays the KGB Russian bad guy in the film, and he's having an absolute blast, and you really having a lot of fun with the character, and all the traditional martial arts kind of fight sequences are all top-notch, really high caliber, really fun, exciting to watch, really kind of throwing themselves and doing some crazy kind of wire work kind of, scenario. There's a lot of great action set moments all the way from the start of the film, with the brilliant kind of, introduction to Andy Lau's character, with getting some evidence from a kind of safe, really kind of hard-hitting kind of action there, all the way to the kind of the brilliant kind of sequence between Symphony Rothwart and Richard Norton's character in the kind of home address, and this was a couple of surprises that do happen in there. I won't give away too much, but all leading up to a brilliant third action set piece with these beautiful kind of set designs and visual effects and kind of wire works, and just some really kind of creative, fun, adventure kind of, caper kind of ideas. And obviously there's a bit of a kind of a riff and a nod to Indiana Jones and E.T., of course, with the sci-fi kind of alien kind of element that comes into it. What's surprising about this film, and what this film gets right compared to a lot of other movies that I've had a lot of issues with on the channel from recently, we're going to be a little bit frustrated with, is that the film delivery of the comedy, the action, the ideas, all of this there's a lot going on in this film. It's a giant kind of love letter to kind of Hong Kong movies during the kind of, that time frame. And usually this type of film wouldn't work for me, or it'll be a mess, or there'll be something wrong, or something will just completely let the film completely fall flat, or there's too many cooks, as probably the expression is. But all these elements, all these different ideas really come together, and the way it's delivered, the way it's kind of paced, the way it's edited, the way the actors are performing these kind of, not just the action, but the comedy. The comedy is so fun. It's so much kind of energy behind it. And it's, the English translation is really good from the kind of the 80th film edition release. And, I was laughing a lot during the film. When the comedy of the film isn't, just put forward against everything else, that's a problem with a lot of the other Hong Kong movies that I have talked about, and similar ones I do have that problem, is called tone. And this film has a great sense of tone, and that is done well by the kind of the editing and the way the film is delivered and the way the film's kind of put together, and how it's kind of pacing all these different ideas between going from Greece to kind of Hong Kong, having introducing the bad guys, introducing our hero characters, doing a love story, doing a sci-fi kind of, gimmicky type stuff with an AT kind of riff, with superpowers and some hijinks going on there. There's a really kind of great sub-story with the love interest of the film, which has a boyfriend called My Boss, or My Boss, and the actor who plays him and the character is really funny, has a really kind of a good sense of comedy in timing, and the way that's delivered is really well handled, and has a really dark ending to it, which I think is great. I like how they kind of leave some characters kind of left in the wind a little bit there, but surprisingly, a lot of this stuff works really well when you can go from something like a character having like He-Man powers to like a darker, serious moment, and then more of a kid-friendly kind of moment with a sub-story with the kid who befriends the kind of this magic crystal, this rock device, who basically is going through kind of a journey himself with his dad. Wong Jing also plays a character in the film. He's really funny as well. He's a good supporting character, best friends with Andy Lau's character, and all the comedy in the film really is well handled. Well, this kind of reminds me of a more traditional kind of Stephen Chow film, in a sense. Those types of movies where it's an actual story, it's an actual script with these characters as a start, middle, and end, but has good comedy and good jokes and good sense of timing. And that's the good thing about this film as well. Overall, Magic Crystal succeeded beyond my expectations and delivered something that is basically rekindled and kind of relit that kind of fire of what makes Hong Kong movies so fantastic, and gets it all right. It gets the script right, it gets the characters right, it gets the action spot on, the comedy is brilliant, the sci-fi weird kind of elements to it, even the knockoff kind of E.T. and Indiana Jones stuff, all works really well in the film. I am pleasantly surprised and absolutely recommend checking out the 80 film edition, guys. Recommend this one for sure. I'm not too sure what the Vinegar Syndrome release. I know there's been a controversy between the transfers, but the transfer and the edition for that is really top notch. Brand new extras with Symphony Rockwood and Richard Norton also in the film. So what are your thoughts and opinions? In the meantime, guys, Amphlett Reviews. Signing out.